Hi friends, Itheria here, and today I want to talk about Live Letter 71 and patch 6.2. This is not going to be a recap because I didn't watch the live letter. I think I was sleeping when it was happening, but I did watch a bunch of recaps and boy am I hyped. This is going to be a freaking great expansion. Well, not expansion. This is going to be a great patch. I'm super excited for it. So I'm just gonna, in true Itheria fashion, babble about the shit I'm excited about. So let's get started. First of all, Glamour dresser slots. Oh my god. I have been waiting for this for like a year, probably. I feel like when Endwalker came out, I was already asking the question, are there going to be more Glamour dresser slots? However, Endwalker came out in December or something, so it's been half a year. My Glamour dresser has been bursting at the seams for uncountable amounts of months. I don't know how many months it's been, but it's been bursting at the seams forever. And it's painful because they keep coming out with a new fashion. There's stuff in the Mog Station. There's stuff in the game itself. And I keep having to sort through my Glamour dresser and get rid of things and put some things on my retainer where I'm going to forget about them, which is really sad because here's the thing, I really like having everything in the dresser because then when I'm making an outfit, I can go and click on all the different stuff and see how it all looks. And even if it's an item that I don't use that much, occasionally I'll be like, oh yeah, I have this thing and it happens to be the perfect arm piece or the perfect footwear for this outfit that, it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe I don't use it a lot, but I could. The perfect outfit is waiting for this piece. And if I don't have it in my Glamour dresser, then I'm never going to look at it. I'm never going to see it. I'm going to forget about it on my retainer, even if I don't get rid of it. I'm so happy that we're getting more Glamour dresser slots. I don't know if I made this clear, but we're getting 800. Not 800 more, 800 total. So 400 more equaling 800. I would love to have 10,000, but I'm gonna settle for 800. We're making progress. Snaps for the SE team. Okay, thank you. Next, I want to talk about these variant dungeons. So I'm not entirely sure if this is all the same thing because Quasi seemed to talk about variant and Criterion Dungeons as if they were different, but then some of the other recaps I watched talked about them as if they were the same. So I'm like, is it the same exact dungeon, just 3 different modes? I think it might be, but I'm not 100% sure. But so the variant dungeon is kind of a more casual dungeon. You can go in solo with NPCs, or you can go 4-man. And the cool thing about this dungeon is it's really rooted in story. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of story happening in this dungeon, or in this dungeon mode. And you can change kind of the outcome of the story, or what type of story you're going to be seeing, depending on the actions you take in the dungeon. So to be able to see the whole story of the dungeon, you would have to run it multiple times and make different decisions within it. So basically your decisions affect what happens in the dungeon, so it can be different every time. I think this sounds really fun. Another cool thing about this is that you can change jobs while in the dungeon, which I'm pretty actually hyped about because we always see the canon Hero Warrior of Like-Eye changing jobs in the trailers for the game, but you can't actually change jobs in combat, or in dungeons or anything. So yeah, I'm like, that's pretty neat. I'm not sure if you will be able to change mid-combat like him, but it sounds like you will be able to change at least while you're in these dungeons, so maybe you finish killing the mobs, then change. I really don't know. We'll find out, but I feel like it's probably going to be the latter. Either way, I still think it's really, really cool. It's such an interesting idea. But how hype would it be, if you actually could change mid-combat? That would be fucking bomb. That would be so cool. We can all live out our, Final Fantasy XIV trailer dreams. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be a really fun addition. I really enjoy playing the MSQ, and even though this technically is not the MSQ, it's just some side story, I do think it'll be a lot of fun to do. I like the idea of having it be variable because one of my kind of quips with the game, especially, high-end content, but the casual version, so Aglaya or normal modes of stuff, but especially Aglaya and the 24-man alliance raids, they kind of get old fast because nothing about them changes. Even the boss patterns of their mechanics are just exactly the same every time. So I think it'll be really cool to see a dungeon that changes so you can really enjoy it and not get bored of it so quickly. Now, the Criterion Dungeons are something I'm incredibly excited for. Like, this is on par with the Glamour dresser slots, if not higher. Like, I might be more excited for this than the Glamour. And let me tell you, Glamour is the true endgame. Glamour is the reason I'm still subbed to this game. Glamour is everything. I cannot say enough about how much I love Glamour. Glam is love, glam is life. But I might be more excited for the Criterion Dungeons. And here's why. So it's going to be 4-man content, and it's going to have 2 modes. Extreme mode and savage mode. Or maybe it's 3 modes if it's the variant dungeon, but I don't know, it sounds different. It just seems like a different thing. So we're going to talk about it as if it's a different thing. So extreme and savage mode. And they're going to be kind of similar, obviously, to the extreme and savage modes we already have in the game. However, like I said, 4-man. Now, I really like extreme content in this game because it's something that you can prog in like a few hours and get a clear. You know, but it's still relatively challenging. Like, it's definitely more fun than your normal modes in the game. Savage mode, I really enjoy, like, the actual, like, I don't know, I enjoy learning them, I guess. I enjoy going through them. I enjoy the challenge of them. However, they can be a little bit difficult in terms of finding people that are all at the same skill level as you, finding people that can actually play at the same time as you, because even if you, like, know people that are good and that, like, you know that you vibe with them, or you know that they're at your same skill level, whatever it may be, you don't always have the same schedule. It can be hard to figure out a time for 8 people to meet. And then on top of that, just having to meet every week, sometimes multiple times a week for however long, whether it be a month, several months. I think for most people, it probably takes a few months to get through the content, like the whole tier. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, I have mixed feelings about it because while the raids can be fun, it really is a commitment. And sometimes, like, I don't want to view a game as a commitment. I've talked about this in my problems with static video, so I'm not going to, like, go any further into it. But that's why I'm excited about the 4-man content, because I think it's going to be, like, difficult content that you don't have to give your life away to, that you don't have to, like, potentially make a commitment for. I think that there will be people who make statics for this content, and so you can still make that commitment, but the good thing about it is, again, 4 people versus 8, it's going to be a lot easier to find people to play with because you don't need to make it match 8 people's schedules, just 4. And I think that's going to be so great. I think it's going to be so much easier to do. But I also think it's cool because I do think it's the type of thing that you could jump into without having a static. I bet it'll still be painful in Party Finder. I mean, even extremes can be painful in Party Finder, but I just feel like you could probably find like 3 friends or FC mates and just be like, hey guys, want to go do this? And you could just do that on any night. Of course, because it is Savage, we should assume that there will need to be some amount of prog. So if people are at different places than you, that could be a little bit tough. But I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be the type of thing that if you don't want to, you won't have to make a weekly commitment for, like you do with 8-man Savage raids and statics. I just feel like it'll be so much easier to jump into, and that's what I'm super hyped about. I will say that I'm a little hesitant or skeptical about the fact that you cannot raise in this dungeon. At least not in the Savage mode, because basically, if you die, you just have to stay dead unless your team is willing to reset. So I do think it'll be important to some extent to go with people that you know or can trust, because I don't know, imagine dying like halfway through. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I assume like the Savage raids are supposed to be killed within like 10-ish minutes, right? So maybe it's only supposed to be 10 minutes long, but it just feels like it could be really sucky if you die kind of like early on or like midway through and your group doesn't restart, because you're just gonna have to sit there twiddling your thumbs. Like, I would literally get up and walk away and like, I don't know, go do something else. I'd be like, well, guess I'll go outside and play with my dog because my team's not restarting. Like, that's the only thing is maybe I shouldn't even be worried about it, but I kind of am, because I feel like if somebody dies and you can't raise them, because you can't, like that's the whole mechanic is you can't raise them, that it's just gonna be crappy for that person. Now, of course, if you're near the end of the dungeon and you're about to kill the last boss, then yeah, there'd be no point in raising. Even if they died early on in the last boss fight, there would definitely not be any point in raising that person because you could probably get the clear even if they stay dead. But yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit skeptical about that part. Something I am kind of excited about though is that I feel like the healer is going to really have to be on their toes, and that a good healer is going to be like indispensable in this dungeon because of the fact that you can't get raised. So if your healer is able to save you, oh my god. And that excites me because I'm like, I want to be challenged. I don't find, I mean, even I haven't gotten to P3S yet. I'm almost there and I know it's going to be hard. I've watched the guide because my team is like on the precipice of getting to getting there. We are literally probably going to get there within the next couple prog sessions. So we're close. And I'm super excited for P3S because I know I'm going to get to do a lot of healing. But I've talked about this in a different video, link that one too, that I feel like we don't get as much challenges or opportunities to heal because the game is just like 90% of the time you're just DPSing and there's hardly any outgoing damage, where this is going to be a savage mode with one healer, not two, one, because P1 and P2, literally, if not for like heal mechanics, you wouldn't need two healers. Both of those are pretty forgiving. And I know like a lot of people are like, oh, it's early on in the tier, they usually make them easier, blah, 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 but still. I'm just saying, I feel like especially normal mode content, even some extreme content is like could be solo healed. And I'm really excited to have something that's going to be difficult and solo healing. And I think the Criterion Dungeons are going to be great. I think they're going to be great. Like I said, skeptical about that one little thing, but overall think they're going to be great. So I'm going to stop talking about that because I've been talking about that for probably like 10 minutes now. But anyhow, I think the last thing I'll talk about, just for a little, hopefully briefly, but knowing me, probably not, is Island Sanctuary. So a lot of people are comparing this to like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, those types of games. I have never played, I've only played those like as a kid at my friend's house, so I don't really have a lot of experience with them because, I don't know, we'd only play them sometimes, but they were cute, they were fun, and so it's not something I'm as excited for as like the Criterion Dungeons or even the Variant Dungeons, but I would say that I'm optimistic and interested. I was really pleasantly surprised with Crystalline Conflict. It was done really well. As somebody who's not interested in PvP, I actually enjoy playing Crystalline Conflict. I find it fun, and sometimes it gets my panties in a bundle. So I'm thinking that they probably can make this solo content good as well. It sounds like it's going to be kind of like you get an island and it starts maybe somewhat small, but you're able to expand it through crafting and gathering, which are different systems that'll be exclusive to the island, so it doesn't matter if you have Disciple of Hand or Land at all. So it sounds like there's crafting, gathering, gardening, maybe some Pokemon. People are talking about catching rare animals, rare creatures. So maybe a little bit of Pokemon in there. To me, it sounds like the exact type of content I want to do when I don't want to play with other people or when I'm like feeling sick. Sometimes I get sick and I just want to like relax and play games, but I don't want to do like a dungeon or a raid or something because I'm afraid I'll have to step away because I'm sick. So this is the type of thing where I feel like this would be perfect. Like this is like the perfect, like I'm lazy, I'm not feeling good, but I want to play like a game. I don't want a scary game. I don't want a like intense game like Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring, but I have to be in the mood to play Elden Ring because it's like you have to be on your toes in that game. There is no relaxing in Elden Ring. There's no calm. You are always looking over your shoulder. You are always on high alert in Elden Ring, right? So if I want to play something a little more laid back and relaxed, I do think Final Fantasy XIV does already have some types of content for me, but I think this is really gonna be fantastic because the stuff I do in Final Fantasy XIV when I want to relax is like beast tribes or like playing with Glamour. So I'm excited to see this Island Sanctuary because I think it'll just be really fun solo content that actually helps give you a lot to do. Alright, well, I have been talking forever now, so I know there's more stuff in 6.2 that I didn't mention at all, but I just wanted to talk about the stuff that I was most excited about. So there it is. Thank you so much for listening to me babble. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please tell me, what are you the most excited for? What are you looking forward to? Don't forget to leave a sacrifice for Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye!